friends, this is Dr. Sugandha Khangar Wagh, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Mahatma Phule Arts, Commerce and Sitaramji Chaudhary Science Mahavidyalay, Varud. Today I am presenting the topic Compton effect, which is useful for the BSc third year semester 5. Dear all, before this lecture I had uploaded one live classroom PPT lecture before COVID-19 lockdown. Now this is my second lecture. This lecture is on Compton effect. Why we need to study the Compton effect quantum mechanically? That question is given in the second slide. It means that is there any necessity to study the classical mechanics and quantum mechanics? Yes, it is necessary to study the classical mechanics. It is necessary to know the classical and quantum mechanics while study the Compton effect. Also there is another one component, particle, we can say photon, and we must know the details of photon before studying the Compton effect. Now here there is the difference between classical and quantum mechanics mentioned in this slide. In classical mechanics there is the study of real object and their motion in real space. That is, there is the study of macro bodies having large mass, we can say. And in quantum mechanics there is the study of very precise observations, or we can say microparticles such as electron, photons, protons, neutrons, etc. Now in classical mechanics, due to the macro bodies, that is having the large mass, it follows the definite path and it has the definite velocity. And in quantum mechanics these are the microparticles. Due to less mass, these have indefinite path, that is random path, we can say, and due to this it has indefinite velocity. Then in classical mechanics that macro bodies exhibit the wave nature only, and in quantum mechanics this microparticle exhibits the wave nature as well as particle nature. Now what is photon? Why it is different from the other particles? So it has some properties, and that properties differentiate photon from the other particles. Is there any requirement of photon? That is mentioned in this slide, and if yes, then why? So here is there any requirement of photon? Yes. For this, imagine the shaft of yellow sunlight beaming through a window. According to quantum physics, that beam is made up of large number of tiny packets of light, that is the zillion of tiny packets of light called as photons streaming through the air. But what is exactly photon? What is that particle? That particle, that is the photon, is the smallest discrete amount or the quantum of electromagnetic radiation. It is the basic unit of all light. So it has several properties, and due to these properties it is differentiated from the other microparticle. A photon travels at a speed of light c in the vacuum. That speed is mentioned here, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. It has zero rest mass, that is the photon cannot exist at rest. It has energy E is equals to h nu, where nu is the frequency of photon. The kinetic mass of photon is m is equals to E by c square, which is equals to h by c lambda, where lambda is the wavelength. The momentum of photon is also mentioned, and which is equals to E by c, that is equals to h by lambda. Again, photon travels in a straight line, and the energy of photon depends upon frequency nu of the photon. So its energy does not change when photon travels from one medium to the another. Now come towards the Compton effect. That was the experiment. That Compton effect was an experiment conducted by A.R. Compton in 1923, and that confirmed the quantum theory of light. Compton directed the electromagnetic waves with short wavelength, that is the X-ray having a short wavelength, small wavelength we can say, and large amount of energy and frequency at electrons, and found that the incident wave had slightly shorter wavelength than the wave produced after collision. Now see this diagram. This diagram at the center I mentioned their target electron, and that target electron of graphite material. Now there is a big question, why we use graphite material only, why not other? As graphite material is the electron rich source, and it is not only the electron rich source, it consists of lots of loosely bound electron, that is the free electrons, and that is more useful to study the Compton effect. means that loosely bound electron can easily detach from the atom, from the center we can say. Now here we use the incident photon having some components, that is the having wavelength lambda, having energy h nu and momentum h by lambda. So this incident photon from X-ray, when incident on the target material, that is the graphite material which consists of loosely bound electron, it lose its energy there and scattered into the three parts. Now one part is the scattered photon having energy E dash is equals to h nu dash, wavelength lambda dash which is called as the modified wavelength, that is mentioned in the diagram, and momentum h by lambda dash. Now there is the angle phi which is called as the scattering angle, and which is the angle between unmodified component of wavelength we can say, that is unmodified wavelength and modified component of wavelength. Now along with both the component, that is modified component, unmodified component, there is also the generation of recoil electron, that is one electron also gets scattered, that is shown in the diagram, which makes an angle theta with the axis, and that electron having energy E is equals to mc square as electron as Einstein mass energy relation, and momentum p. Now the definition of Compton effect is given in this slide. When X-ray photon incident on the target material, it is scattered into the three components as we have discussed earlier: modified wavelength lambda dash, unmodified wavelength lambda, and in addition to this recoil electron is also generated. Now see in this diagram, that's graphite material, at the center see collision is written. There is the graphite material and that consists of lots of loosely bound electron, and one X-ray photon, see here X-ray photon, that is mentioned in the Y, that is left hand side of the, on the left hand side of the target material, it is mentioned as a Y. When incident on the loosely bound electron, what happened? It loses its energy, it gives its energy to the loosely bound electron and it's scattered with less energy, that is also mentioned in the in Y on the right hand side, that is after collision. So the one photon is scattered having less energy compared to the incident photon. Along with these, electron is also generated, that is electron is scattered, but that electron having more energy because it gains energy from the incident photon, and that is mentioned on the right hand side, that is after collision, as a E. So as I already explained, the Compton effect can be explained making two assumptions, that is electron from which X-ray scattered is the free electron, that is I mentioned as a loosely bound electron, and the electron is at rest. When X-ray photon having energy E is equals to h nu collide with the atom of the scatterer, it interact with the loosely bound electrons in the target atom. During the collision, X-ray photon transfers some part of its energy to the electron. Thus, electron at rest acquire energy from incident photon. Incident photon loses its energy in the collision and gets scattered. So the scattered photon has less energy than the incident photon. As E is equal to hc by lambda, see this relation, E is equals to hc by lambda, where h is the Planck's constant and c is velocity of light, both have standard value, that is the constant value, that's why hc becomes constant, and we get the relation E is inversely proportional to the wavelength. So if energy of component, that is the photon, is more then wavelength less, and if wavelength is more then energy is less. As I have discussed in the Compton effect, after scattering, that is scattering photon having wavelength lambda dash, and that wavelength is more compared to the initial wavelength lambda. Why? Because the initial photon, that is the incident photon, loses its energy to the target material, and that's why its energy becomes less when it's scattered, and if it has less energy then it has greater wavelength, more wavelength we can say. Now the shift in wavelength is given by del lambda is equals to lambda dash minus lambda, which is equals to h upon m naught c into 1 minus cos phi, where del lambda is the Compton shift, that is the difference between lambda dash, that is modified wavelength, and unmodified wavelength. Phi is the scattering angle, that is angle made by modified component with the axis of the incident photon, m0 is the rest mass of electron, value is mentioned here, that is 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. C is the velocity of light, that is also mentioned 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Now, what we predict from the wave theory of light, or is Compton effect success in explaining the wave theory of light? We will see here what are the predictions. The wave theory predicts that no wavelength change should be takes place. That means the unmodified component, means after scattering there will be the generation of unmodified component also. Unmodified component means that component having scattered component having wavelength same as that of incident wavelength, that is mentioned in the Compton effect diagram, that is lambda. The incoming electromagnetic wave forces the electron to oscillate with the same frequency as that of wave. Therefore, the oscillating electron should re-emit the electromagnetic waves of same frequency. Now, what are the confirmations of quantum theory? Incoming photon collide with the electron and transfer some amount of energy is equals to h nu to the electron. The scattered photon now has less energy than the incident one, and so decrease in the frequency with increase in wavelength, as mentioned in this equation. Lambda is equals to c by nu, that is lambda is inversely proportional to the frequency. If wavelength is more, then frequency of that component becomes less, and the energy also that component becomes less, because energy and frequency both are directly proportional, and energy and frequency both are inversely proportional to the wavelength respectively. Now, applications of Compton effect. The Compton scattering is a prime importance to radiobiology, as it happened to be most probable interaction of light energy X-ray with atomic nuclei in living being, and is applied in radiation therapy. In material physics, Compton scattering can be used to probe the wave function of the electrons in matter in the momentum representation. Now, there are few conclusions. What conclusions we drawn from the Compton effect? Compton disproof, that is Compton effect fails to explain the classical theory of scattering that is mentioned in the predictions of wave. The wavelength shift, that is we can say Compton shift of X-ray scattered at a given angle, is absolutely independent of the intensity of radiation, and the length of exposure depends only on the scattering angle phi. The Compton scattering is more observable for free electron, as I mentioned that target material must have large number of lots of free electrons, that is the loosely bound electron, and that's why such target material we have to use to explain the Compton effect. Compton effect uses for the applications such as electron and mineral density measurement in certain volume of an object, type of chemical bonds, measurements of electron distribution and momentum. So, if you these are the various aspects regarding Compton effect. These are means there are a few objectives and outcomes also, that is the applications and conclusion here, predictions, that are the outcomes drawn from this topic, and aim of this topic, that is the explain Compton effect. This is the objective or aim of this experiment. If you like this video, if you feel this video as a thorough video and which is useful for our student, that video is useful for Nagpur University student, that is BSc student, Amravati University student, Gondwana University student also. So, if we feel that video is thorough, knowledgeable, you can like my video, share my video, and subscribe my channel on YouTube as a Sugandha Khangar. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.